Hey guys, how's it going? What's up, Enigmatic Onion? Martin Crockett. Absence says, time to take a break. I'm stuck in my loop anyway. Yeah, that's the thing. When you make techno, it's real easy to get stuck in that loop. Actually, all of us have that issue. Sometimes, or other times. Who else is in the chat here today? F-Stop, welcome back. Did I say Martin Crockett already? Hey, Martin Crockett again, if I already said so. And Mouvement Sequentiel, hi there. How's it going? And John H. Kingston III, perennial irregular. Here we are again. So yeah, welcome everybody. What's up? Trying out my, I got a new camera here. No green screen today. This is actually what the room looks like. Although the way I've got this one light in front of me, so it's kind of dark back there. I like how it looks. Man, that chat is busy over there on the left side. I'm still figuring out the layout here for the no green screen situation. We'll get there. Welcome to 343 TV. This is Selway's Techno Saturdays. I'm here every week, as you know. I think most of you are regular viewers at this point. Welcome to anyone who's checking it out for the first time. Say hello in the chat. 343 TV is brought to you by 343 Labs, Music Production School in New York City and in Berlin. We have our classes here in person and we have them online too. So if you're interested, if you like what you see here on our YouTube presentations and other platforms, hello to anyone out there who might be on Twitch or Facebook. And I think we're going up on Twitter too. Does anyone actually watch on Twitter? Anyway, most of you are here on YouTube. That's where the action is. So if you're all by yourself on one of those other platforms and you want to hang out with us, come over to YouTube, hop in the chat, say hey. And if you want to know more about 343 Labs, of course, there's a description in, below here that has links in it. So you can click to your heart's content, find out all about the courses we have online and in person, events that are coming up. You can find out more about 343 Studio soon. We're going to be, there's a really big push coming. We're going to have a launch event in March. Exciting things are happening. And, you know, you're part of the community here when you're in the chat and joining in the fun. But of course, you can go a little deeper on our Discord channel. There's also a link in the description there if you haven't already. Talk to like-minded producers and musicians, get feedback on your tracks, join in our sample challenges. All manner of good stuff is possible there in our Discord. So subscribe if you haven't. Hit like if you like. And I think that covers most of the due diligence up until this. Our 343 TV giveaway this week is a 3-month subscription to Splice. So there's a link pinned in the chat here. check that out. This is your last day to enter, and we'll announce the winner towards the end of the show. So I'm getting used to my new setup here. It's funny after doing so many shows with the green screen and a certain layout, I feel like I'm a little bit exposed. But now, hey, I can move around the room. As I disappear into the darkness. Let's see what's going on in the chat right here. This wall of text that's right here. Lies Society, what's up? Kinetic Stringwell, welcome. Happy Saturday. Patrick Lutters, Max Wild, yes, all in black in the dark room with the new cinematic sorta-ish kind of video quality here. I'm still an amateur when it comes to like cameras and lighting. We're still figuring it all out, but it works well. I think it looks pretty cool. Eulimer, welcome. These Saturdays are the only times in my life I'm glad I have no social life. I'm so sorry. But yeah, I'm glad that we're here for you. Welcome. Enjoy. Be a part of the community. And particularly for my shows, the techno and or electro community. Yeah, I got to fix this with I got this huge block of text here, and then when I select a comment to bring it up, it's kind of cluttery, right? Let's not get into much of that. Why are we here? Well, techno today. Last week was electro. Did some fooling around with the SH01 and had some technical issues, which, yeah, it was just one error leading to another error leading to another. I should have spent a little bit more time before the stream to make sure that wasn't going to happen. Anytime you do a setup change, there's bound to be something that comes up. So thanks to all of you for sticking through that. And we finally got going and got some music made. So yeah, doing kind of some basic electro synthesis and sound design and just making a small sketch in about 40 minutes. That went all right. Now, a couple weeks before, I was doing some techno, kind of this rough rolling, cut up, distorted, drummy thing. And I was asking the chat, if you had any suggestions for other tracks we could use as inspirations. And one of them was an older UMEK track. And I like it as an example because it's really stripped down. It's a really good exercise in, it's not minimal in terms of genre. It's full on techno, right? But it's minimal in terms of like the meaning of the word. It's just only a few simple elements. And those simple elements are just right, There's some drums, there's a bass, there's a synth, and that's pretty much it. And a little bit of effect processing, of course. So yeah, we're going to use that as a model today. And I'm not going to say this is how you make UMEK tracks, because one right now, 20 something maybe years later or less, I don't remember what year this track is from. Makes a whole very different style. So this is kind of old school UMEK. And it's also, there's a lot of other tracks out there that are similar to this. So I feel like it's not just, we're not here to learn how to be UMEK today. This is just a cool track as a exercise in a certain sort of techno groove and with making the most out of a few elements, which, I think that's a big techno. I feel like it gets too layered and too overcomplicated sometimes, it gets, it can get a little busy and wonky. And I mean, I like that too, but it also, when it's simple and effective and just a few cool sounds that feel just right, then that's the best. All right, so I was going to acknowledge the chat a little bit more before we start. You guys are talking about the Minilog XD. I got my Juno 106 over here. It's actually plugged in. You can see the lights are on. The Minilog, it's the older Minilog, not the XD. I actually wish I had an XD because it's got that cool customizable, changeable digital oscillator in it, which, that's dope. Hey, Max, can we get one? Can we get an XD? That would be fun. And Simple Sam is eating way too much pizza these days. Probably shouldn't eat too much pizza. It's gonna go, if you aren't out there working out, maybe you are working out, but it might go straight to your belly. So this is diet, nutrition, and exercise tips Saturday today with a little techno on the side. All right, so let's get back to this UMEK example. Hey, that's my Ableton Live. We want to go over here. UMEK Lanicore. And I remember this track. I know like a lot of people played this track. It was big. For sure, like, you know, my good friend Christian Smith was playing it. I played it. So this was a bread and butter big track to play whatever year this came out. And let's have a listen to it. Gets going right away. So what are we hearing in this track? We got that crazy synth, right? Got a snare drum filled, some hi-hats, there's the kick drum, there's some 16th note sort of shakery percussion going on. There's a bass line, but the bass is not like big, deep, rumbly bass. It's kind of just sitting there behind the kick a little bit. So it's more about like it's punchy. It's not rumbly, it's punchy. And it's got this ravey, intense synth lead on top of it with some cool effects on that synth. And then the rest of it is like, you know, it's all in this arrangement, these layers of percussion, pretty typical for this type of a track. That's a good thing to note. DJ Feo says, seems like 2-bar phrases work pretty well. Yeah, and that's kind of what this is. And the melody kind of, it's forward and backward. It kind of mirrors itself front and back, which is a cool composition trick for any kind of melody, really. Vasila says I'm wearing my my Berghain Trezor outfit today. Let's take it one step further. I'm going to do the rest of the show like this. And I'm not going to smile because I'm a depressed techno DJ. Wait, this is screwed up. I'm going to take it off. I'm too happy to be that kind of overly serious edgelord. I'm a big goof, honestly. All right, so this track is great. And what else does it do? Should probably stop playing it because we're like, it's like copyright infringement or something. No, this is educational. This is fair use. YouTube algorithms, don't block me. Right, so yeah, this is a great track. Martin Crockett mentions, yeah, glide. There's like a glissando, a portamento, a glide between the, what's the difference between glissando and portamento? Classical music theory nerds? Anybody? Anyway, on a synth, it's usually either glide or portamento. So yeah, you're hearing a monophonic synth, right? It's playing one note and those notes are bending in and out of each other. And you hear the bending more in an exaggerated way when there's a wider kind of jump between the notes, a bigger interval. Yeah, so I feel like we could easily come up with our own groove that models this structure without like copying UMEK. I mean, and again though, even if I did try to redo this like UMEK did it, it's still like a fairly generic style of techno that a lot of different people have done in their own way. So no worries there. We can put our own spin on it and give it its own kind of personality. All right, so we're going to go over to Ableton Live. What happened to my info view there? Oh my God. All right. So I have a 909 set up. I want to add some other percussion to it. We're really starting blank slate today, other than the drums. And I loaded up, I was about to. There it is. Got an extra track here unnecessarily. I'm using Live's analog as our are you going to? Oh, it's an audio track. All right. I'm like having a conversation with myself while I figure out what I'm doing here. Luminous Cloud says, Professor Zoid retune inspiration. You got to go over Paul Hardcastle's Rainforest and 19. I feel Rainforest is an electro tune that inspired NYC Piano House and freestyle tuners. That's really awesome. That's totally taking me out of my stripped down pumping techno headspace though, like Paul Hardcastle. That's for an electro Saturday. And yes, but actually, you know what? Talking about UMEK, he also does electro. I prefer, of his new music lately, I prefer the electro stuff most of the time. So yeah, Zeta Reticula. Luminous Cloud says UMEK used to go hard. He also goes by Zeta Reticula. Funicula. If anyone out there gets that reference. Okay. So I think, all right, I don't even have a MIDI controller set up. This is like bare bones today. This is DAW only, Ableton Live devices only, basic 909 samples. We're just going to concentrate on getting a cool lead pattern. I feel like we should do that first. And then everything else will fall from there. I mean, this is pretty much default analog. You going to load up? All right. And then I know I want it to be monophonic, so I'm going to go in here in the voices and change it to mono. And I don't know, let's bring the cutoff filter down already so it doesn't just start out like, right? And we're going to do it. We are going to copy the idea of a 2-bar sequence. And this is going to be trial and error. Sometimes I'll just randomly put in a bunch of notes. For techno, this can especially work pretty well. I'll randomly just put in a shape. And then kind of think about the shape over time. You know, think as much about the shape of the melody and the rhythm without getting too specific about a scale or a key or whatever. I don't even, since the preview isn't on, I'm not even hearing what notes they are. Okay. So random. Okay. And let's do let's copy the other thing that UMEK did, and where the beginning of the melody and the end are kind of mirrors of each other. So I'm going to duplicate that over, but then reverse it. This is all right. Let me just warn you guys, when we hear this, it's probably not going to be great, but we're going to work with it. We're going to see what happens. All right. Not horrible. You could actually work with that. But I'm gonna sculpt it a little bit. I'm gonna turn a couple notes off. And I'm also gonna think about maybe some longer notes as opposed to all 16ths. All right. Let's get the glide going. And then, all right, one of the things, and this is, we can have it always gliding like that. So it's in, right, glide is on, it's not in legato mode, right? So that means it's always gliding every note, no matter what the note length is or where the note off is. But if you put it in legato, it's only gonna, it should only glide when they touch or overlap. So like if I make these all a little bit shorter, no bending. But then if I make them go overlap, it's gonna, yeah, and it's making it more acidy that way, actually. Not sure about that last. All right, I'm going to think about this. I'm not going to talk too much, and I'm going to listen and see if I'm vibing. You know what? This is all going to totally change when I put a kick drum on it. Maybe we should do that. Let's do it. All right. Not bad. Just using the built-in rack to like pump it up a little bit. I'm not against this. I feel like I could just go with this. The sound could use some sweetening up. Let's play with it. Right now, are we hearing both oscillators? Yeah, we are. Octaves are cool. What about detuning? Right, so I'm pretty sure UMEK was using like a 101 to do his lead. This doesn't sound like a 101, but that's okay. Again, we're not trying to copy the original. Oh, I love it. Luminous Cloud says, my 3-year-old son is jamming out to it. That's awesome. I wish my kids would jam out to techno more. They're all into they're more into pop music or like whatever they hear on the back of like gamer streams and YouTube videos. You know, they like lo-fi. I didn't indoctrinate them in techno early enough. How can we get this even? All right, I'm going back and forth on whether I want. Actually, the octave sounds good. It's more intense. All right, I want some shakers. That? No, not snares. All right. Let's do that hard maraca, that short, chunky, not super chunky, but you know what I mean. It's not super thin. DJ Feo says sidechaining might give it some extra pump. Of course. I'm not worried too much about mixing yet, but I will keep that in mind. Oh, wait. Okay. Give it a little velocity before I duplicate it all out. That's the fast way to give that shaker a little bit of groove. Although, I need to have it sound a little bit more... Yeah, it's not even, it's barely responding to the velocity. Let's increase that up. Better. All right, we'll do it. We'll do the sidechaining, but I'm not going to do it with the kick. I'm going to do it with, you could use, what is it called? That Max for Live effect. My brain is not working today. Screw it. Let's just use the auto pan. Oh, shaper. That's what it is. I'm gonna group that. Always got to overcomplicate things, don't I? Map that to the chain. All right. Let's make that a little less intense. Get real precise. It's kind of like LFO tool, right? Turn the snap off so I can smooth that out just a little bit. I'm kind of trying to invert the envelope to the shape that I hear in the kick drum. So it's like bringing the volume up real precisely. And I'm just going by feel and by ear. I mean, this is kind of what the compressor would do automatically, but I like having this kind of precise control of it, over it. If I don't want it to go so extreme, I can limit the range. You see, that's what it's doing. Gives you a nice little visual. I could have been a little more precise about this by assigning that to a macro first and then doing the shaper to the macro. But this is good enough. How we doing? Ah, thanks. DJ Feo says, wow, I didn't know that shaper trick. It's great. Or you could just use the auto pan to do that. You don't have as much precision over the shape, but it's fast. Right, I think we need some more percussion, right? We need a hi-hat. Let's make this all sound a little chunkier. I mean, there is, where is that effect? All of this stuff in here is running through this fairly full-on rack with saturator and the glue compressor and the drum bus. And we could go heavier on this. Sure, why not? Oh, we're not even hearing that right now. Where's the... We need to go back to the macro. There we go. Now it's knocking. Let's make this even fatter. All right, I've got the two oscillators octave apart, but I can also do that here with the sub. That's cool too. That sounds more like an SH 101 a little bit. This thing needs some effects, right? I'm liking it better now. Let's make it dirty. All right, overdrive might be a little bit too much, but... Nasty. A little harsh. Now, bring that back down again. Sounds totally different with the overdrive on the when the filter's low and you're getting the resonance kind of hitting it. I'm on the fence about the distortion, but it's okay. Let's get the bass in there. It's got to be real simple. What should we use for bass? Any suggestions? What do you guys want me to use? Just live devices, keeping it simple. Eulemore says, let's make the two bars more like a question and answer. Someone says, DJ Fail says, erosion frequency shifter go bananas. I'm open for that. Oh man, I got to do the 11.1 update because they have the shifter, the new some of the new devices they have. This is what happens with the frequency shifter if it's in my hands. Oh, that's the wrong track. It sounds awesome on the shaker. Actually, maybe I'll leave that. Let's duplicate that and put it over on the... It's good, but it kind of makes it more, it's more trippy, less driving with this swirly thing going on, right? Could do some audio rate modulation. It's noisy though, right? Now we're getting wonky. The robots are coming to get you. I like it better straight, I think. All right. What am I thinking of? I'm thinking that... Oh, the bass. Did anybody give any suggestions for bass synth? Wavetable. I'm good with that. Live Society. My computer's having problems. It's going to be replaced real soon. It overheats like nothing. That's why I'm like trying to stick just to the live devices. Hopefully Wavetable will behave today. Now, what key are we in? What key are we in today? I got lucky. I hear it as a G. All right. So we don't want it to be too busy. Let's turn this off for a second. So it could even be just something. Just filling in the space in between the kick drums. That might be a little too busy. And it doesn't even have to necessarily be in the right key. I think if it's lower, it needs to be fuller, fatter, fill in some of the overtones. Right now, that's just the sine wave, right? Too long on a Luis. I want it to be shorter. I'm trying not to think too hard about this. I'm trying to be like just fast and trying to follow my instinct and see what happens. Let's try one of these other filter models. We can saturate it a little bit. And use an envelope to modulate the filter frequency a little bit. It's already getting like more full of character than I was thinking. I really wanted it to be sort of just hiding in the background a little bit. Now, I don't know if this is actually going to work with the lead, because I did it without playing the lead, but let's put the lead back on and see. Now, it's got to be in the key. I don't mind that. It's just kind of, it's like just doing a little rumble in between the kicks. Yeah. I'm going to leave it there for now. It's maybe a placeholder. Maybe more repetitive. Because the lead is so busy that the bass shouldn't change too much. More chunky that way. I just moved over that note to the 8th note instead of the 16th note, and it's more. Right. Jury's out on how well that works in the mix and everything, but it's close, so I'm gonna leave it. Oh yeah. About my MacBook. Yes, this is gonna happen. Well, that just disappeared, but I know that my MacBook Pro could be overheating because the thermal paste is worn out, and maybe it could be gunked up. I mean, I've tried to keep it clean, but I have a feeling that it's probably full of dust, and the thermal stuff is not working, and it just can't keep it cool. The fans just aren't working. All right, enough about my computer. This is all happening too fast. It's already just 1:30. I have like most of the groove there. The rest of it is like adding drums and arranging. Oh, effects. Now, I'm going to stop for a second because I feel like I need to clear my head. When Absent was talking about being stuck in a loop, we are exactly right now stuck in a loop and we have to break out of it. So let's take a pause. Let's go back and hang out for a minute and talk about what we're going to do next. This is 343 TV. It's Techno Saturdays with me. And I'm John Selway, if you didn't already know. 343 Labs brings 343 TV to you a few times a week. We're not doing it as often as we used to. We're kind of stripping it down. And we've got a lot. I think one of the reasons for that is we've got a lot going on behind the scenes. New things, new programs, new things being developed. So, we're producing more, kind of pre-recorded content as opposed to like in the moment live stream. Let's see what happens kind of content. So that's one of the things. We've got 343 Studio starting imminently. It's starting really, really soon. We've got, it's a subscription program. It's not just a subscription. There's 3 levels to it. There's a free tier, right? And there's going to be a certain amount of content available on the free tier. But then, for a relatively, decent amount of money, like not like a full course, you don't have to spend a couple thousand on a full course, or you'll have more access to more content. And then there's a third level which has the most access, and that's where you get more kind of one-on-one time with people like Abe Duque and myself and other instructors here. And we're doing feedback sessions, mentorship sections where we can just talk about everything music related, not just what you're working on in your track. We're having, visiting artists doing and presenters doing workshops in different subjects. So, we've got some really exciting stuff in the works. That's going to, you're going to hear more about that soon. We're having a launch event at the beginning of March, which is, that's another thing we're doing, is getting prepared for that, like doing some more ambitious live event streaming all day, basically. So keep an eye out for that. We're definitely going to make a lot of noise about it real soon. I've been talking about it for weeks or months, I think, and it's really happening. All right. What's up with the chat? Luminous Cloud says, wait, I'm going to go back to, let's just go back to the main thing. Because when I bring up these comments, it's easier to read them than when they're on top of all of the other scrolling chat text. So yeah, Luminous Cloud says that detuned chorus and slide make it sound a lot like UMEK. Well, it's doing kind of this classic SH101 acidy driving lead. So yeah, definitely. Mauricio Donardi, hello, welcome. Wispa1A says, filter it with a wobbly bass. Maybe. And, that's a choice we can make. Right now, with the exception of all the drums that I'm missing, this is pretty much all there is in our example track, in that old UMEK track. It's like drums, bass, synth, and then tweaking the synth and having the drums come in and out in the arrangement. It's really simple, but just super effective, right? So, yeah. But we could take this as a starting point, and we don't have to. If you want to get a little bit more complex, we could add some other elements. We could make the bass line more prominent, more bright, wobbly, grindy. It could become more. I don't mean it could become more progressive, not like the genre progressive, but meaning that there's more change over time. Again, I said minimal earlier. This isn't minimal techno as people have come to understand it, but it's minimal literally. By the definition of minimal, there's like is a minimal number of elements, and it could be progressive, not as a genre, but as a description of how the sounds change over time. So yeah, it could have, I guess evolve would be a better word than progressive. Cause I feel like with techno people, progressive like is a trigger. I'm not afraid of it, but you can get some serious techno heads, and if you start talking about progressive and minimal and to a lesser extent, because this minimal still can be cool, right? Especially if it's the 90s style or like deep dub techno or something, which is okay. That's not minimal. Someone's gonna hurt me if I say that that's minimal. Again, it's literally minimal because it's just a few elements. I'm saying too much. Even trance, like if I say progressive and trance in this techno broadcast, someone's gonna get annoyed. Sorry, I'm gonna stop now. I don't mean to push your buttons. I don't mind anything. Good music is good music. But yeah, back to techno. Where is the cowbell, says Wayne Brown. Are you getting at that we need more? There is no cowbell. Do we need cowbell for this? If I were to use cowbell at all, it would have to be the 808 cowbell. Shall we? Let's do it. Whoa. All right, we're taking a departure from UMEK, and we're adding stuff that didn't exist in the model. There it is, all by itself. I'm going to tune the cowbell into G. I mean, this is the original pitch. Somewhere in there, but let's go. I'm not sure what key it should be. I feel like it's playing a note and it's going to interfere with that synth, so it's got to be happening at the right spot. That's okay. Let's see if we just have that repeating. Now you can hear it. Let's crunch the heck out of that cowbell. All right, drum bus. That's harsh. Oh my God. Is that enough cowbell, or do we need more? I'm not sure I like it. I could tune it a little bit. It's sharp. And there's a filter on. Why is there a filter on? There it is. Why does that default with the filter on? That's goes against my sensibilities. Actually, it sounds cool low, doesn't it? I don't know, syncopated or more straight? I mean, this isn't a new idea. People have done this before, but the 808 cowbell sounds so cool as like a lead or a melodic element or as an effect. You know, putting distortion on it sounds amazing. All right, let's do this. I feel like the drum bust isn't quite enough. We can do overdrive or saturation or something. Yeah. It's buzzy. It's making it more trancey, isn't it? Rusty cowbell, that's right. So yeah, this is a good comment from Acid Bats. There's a fine line with some techno and trance. Prototype 909, for instance, technically acid trance, but to me it's just banging acid techno. I think if you were to talk to Jason and Dietrich and Taylor of Prototype 909, they probably would take issue with being called trance, but they would be open to it being trancey, like hypnotic. But yeah, I get what you're saying. I think that's good. And for those of you who haven't listened to Prototype 909 before, definitely go type that into your search bar. What's up, Tom Hades? Really? Is he really here? All right, we're stuck in a loop again. I'm gonna make this just obnoxiously ridiculous. Let's put a reverb on this. Use the regular one. All right, now it's different, a different style of track, but I'm gonna put more distortion on it. Putting distortion after a reverb is just your noise. You're getting noise. So let's see what happens when I do that. Now we're getting into a hypnotic area for sure. That doesn't sound like a cowbell anymore. What happens if I bring that down another octave? That's a cool sound. Maybe not for this track. Maybe that's just a hit for my arrangement. When I turn this into big room business techno, it'll go bang. All right, I'm not afraid of that, but different vibe than this. All right, that shaker doesn't need that frequency shifter on it. Hi-hats. We need our ride cymbals for sure. Our loud, obnoxious ride cymbals. All right, let's put in some ridiculous busy snare drums. Need to be louder. Got to get inside of this thing. What's going on inside of this thing? All right. Stuck in the loop. Let's get rid of the kick drum in this next and the snare. Maybe, I don't know. Alright, turn off my inputs and outputs, can't see anything. Alright, we're gonna lose the ride. Put the kick drums back. Alright. Extra hi-hats. It's really, with the compression and all the distortion and compression on the 909, when the hi-hat hits with the kick, it's just smacking. I love it. Let's add another layer of effects to that lead. All right, and here I'm going to copy the trick that UMEK did just as a starting point. He's using a pitch shifter on it. So the 11.1 update has a new shifter that has, there's a new pitch shifting plugin in it, but I'm going to use the grain delay to do it. All right, pitch modulation, where is it? Delay, grain delay, all the way wet, zero feedback, short millisecond time, pitch at 12. Lowering the frequency so it's not too buzzy sounding, maybe spraying a little bit, and let's hear what that sounds like. Oh, wrong send. We want B. There you go. So that's pretty much what he did. He put a pitched up copy of the lead. Let's go even farther. All right, I think that needs also, whatever that shaper's doing, needs to be also working on the output of the grain delay. Getting it out of the way. What does that sound like if I bring the filter down? This is really intense. Who's being hypnotized? Yeah, sounds better with a lower frequency and less spray. What would it sound like if we sent this send to another send? I'm curious. Let's solo this. So I'm gonna activate send C on return B. Then I can add another send to the return. Let's thin that out. Let's filter that. Here's my break. What happens if I increase the amp envelope on the synth? Bring the sustain up. I have to do it on the filter too. Try to make it fuller. All right, this is nuts. I just turned the legato off and I'm increasing the time. It's going completely out of... Oh my god. I need a break. What's up, everybody? How are we doing? That was fun. I feel like I just went out into outer space. And now drop the crowd bell. Oh, right. Okay. Wait a minute. I should have just done, I teased you. Where's the drop? Okay. We're going to do the cowbell all by itself. Oh, wait. There we go. It's not big enough. I need to do like a big bass hit underneath this. Let's add that. If I wanted to, yeah, I like this as a one hit or like a thing to add in a break, but it's thin, right? It's a mid-rangey sound going through the distortion, so it's getting brighter, but doesn't have bottom end. So let's group that rack into another rack. Look at the chains. Usually if I just want to make a sub real quick, I use operator, so I can be really precise about, I can be real precise about how that sub sits. I probably should have used operator instead of wavetable from the bass line, but whatever. I was taking your suggestion, so I went with it. But let's hear what this sounds like. What note is that? All right. Okay. So I made a mistake here. So what I should have done, I'm going to delete this operator chain actually. These effects, actually, let's ungroup this and start over. This is back to where we were. Ungroup. So I want the cowbell and the overdrive and the reverb. Or maybe not the reverb. Just the overdrive and the cowbell are grouped. All right. Right, so that's one chain within that with the cowbell rack and the overdrive, and then yeah, no, it has to be separate. So I'm going to put everything in. I just remembered I have two overdrives. I have overdrive and then reverb and then overdrive again to make the reverb distorted. So that's all one chain now. And then I can go in, add an operator, and this is just going to be the clean like bass hit. There it is. All right, I'm thinking, is this what I want to be doing? I just want kind of a clean sub underneath. But then let's make it dirty. Let's do saturator. Sure. There we go. And since it's wave shaper, I can get ridiculous with it. Too bright. What if I detune the oscillators? Ah, that's more interesting. What? I just can't help but get hypnotic today, apparently. What does this sound like with the cowbell? Different pitch, all right? The sample's tuned to a different note. It's the root key, it has to change. I have to transpose it. So it sounds, I'm going to go quickly by ear. It sounds like the note operator's playing is a half step too low. So I can simply just transpose it up here in the synth, a half step. There it is. Okay. That was unnecessary. But it's what it's doing. It's filling in the bottom of that sound. Whether that works with the track remains to be seen. Anyway, let's listen to this one more time and then we're going to wrap things up for today. So where did we start? We started out with this. Oh. All right, got the kick drum. There's some more sound design to be done with that lead, but I feel like we're pretty darn close. Bringing up the filter, we're driving it. Got the overdrive, making it dirty. The pedal would have been good too. A bit more guitar-style distortion. Someone's going to start wailing on it's going to be like electric guitars now. All right. I think we did good here today. This was fun. I'm glad we started with the example from UMEK, but we went beyond it, which is definitely, I think what you should do instead of copying an artist, take them as an inspiration and then go further, take it in your own direction. And I also like how, this is a good example of how just a couple of elements, just a few elements can be all that you need. I mean, I've said it before and I'll keep saying it. You don't have to overcomplicate things. You don't have to add a million layers. This isn't Future Bass, all right? Anybody ever watched any of those tutorials of Future Bass? It's like the chord progression and then just like 10 plugins playing it and then it's all chopped up. And I think that stuff's cool too. In as far as like production style, I learned from those things, but musically not my cup of tea, to be honest. Anyway, thanks to all of you for hanging out today. Let's see who's still here today. The winner. We have to congratulate the winner today. Chris Koff. We'll be in touch. You've got a 3-month subscription to Splice. Make good use of it. Grab as many cool samples as you can. Enjoy that. So yeah, we'll let you know how to get that going. And congratulations again. Thanks to everyone who participated. Better luck next time. And thanks very much. DJ Feo says this was inspirational. I'm really glad you feel that way. That, if I can do that, I've definitely done my job correctly. So this has been fun. I got into it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. Congratulations again to our winner. We'll be back next week. Right. Keep an eye out for announcements about 343 Studio. Check out our websites for info on upcoming courses. Join our Discord. Subscribe if you haven't already. Give us a thumbs up if you like. And I'll see you next time. Adios, everybody. Thanks a lot.